Hey everybody, Bonehead for the Bonehead podcast, and we've got some breaking news. Everything that we kind of thought was coming has landed, sort of. So in the pre-order preview article today on the Warhammer community, we can see that next week we have finally got some Blood Bowl pre-orders. And if you go to the Warhammer community website, I'm sure eventually it will update and it'll be right there, but kind of hidden. In the article, we got Sunday preview for Harbingers, herald a new season of Warhammer Age of Sigmar, boring, and a fresh flavor for Blood Bowl. So we saw this last Sunday. They dropped an article and it had new Blood Bowl rules, new Blood Bowl teams in it. That was the tagline. Then they dropped the article. Well, then they retconned it to be gone. Then they dropped the article on Gutter Bowl, which looks to be a new version of Blood Bowl 7s. In a city, so underground or in a kind of market stall or something like that. So we spent this week kind of putting together what we think is going to be the case. You have to excuse my sunburn. I went to the tank museum. Right. Anyway, at the bottom of the article, all the way here, Gutter Bowl, the game of street level fantasy football mayhem. So this is coming up for pre-order. This will be up for pre-order next Saturday. Leave the glitz of the stadium and take your game to the streets and sewers of the old world in Gutter Bowl, the anarchic game of amateur Blood Bowl action. This is not the realm of professional sportsmen and cabal vision glamour. It is played in the gutters, where players smash through market stalls, balls bounce off sewage pipes, and aspiring legends vie for the attention of the leagues. Rules? What rules? Gutter Bowl is compatible with any Blood Bowl team you have handy, making it a great way to get extra mileage out of your old stalwarts or start a brand new squad. The expansion contains a Gutter Bowl rulebook, a double-sided game board with streets on one side and sewers on the other, and 2 matching dugouts. So, Gutter Bowl is coming. It is going to be on pre-order this weekend, and ultimately it looks to be a book and a pitch. Definitely, well, if you think about the fact that Blood Bowl 7s is just a pitch and the rules are separate, and that is just an amazing way to play Blood Bowl. So I'm hoping that there's some good fluffy rules in the Gutter Bowl rulebook, and obviously we will do our best to dig into that. But I mentioned teams. I'm afraid to say it is not vampires. It is not the new team. It is not a team of legend. But the OWA, Old World Alliance, and the Underworld team are both getting their box back. So you will be able to go and pick up an OWA team, which makes a lot of sense as Blood Bowl 3 Season 1 started this week, and OWA and Underworld aren't on there, are they? No, OWA is on there. OWA is on there. Anyway, both teams are being re-released in plastic, which is not surprising, so you will get in the OWA box a sprue of dwarves, sprue of humans, and a sprue of halflings, which is a pretty cool mixture. It always feels nice in a Blood Bowl box to get 3 sprues instead of 2, even if one is a couple of little dudes. And when it comes to Underworld, we've got, I think, a sprue of Skaven, and then I think it was 2 sprues of goblins, because they got the kind of half-sized ones. Anyway, if you want an Underworld team, there'll be a box. If you want an OWA team, there'll be a box. And they're also doing card packs for both teams. Now, card packs are useful to have a reference for your players. If you're using a team roster, then they are definitely significantly less useful because you have your roster for that. But they'll have special play cards in there, I imagine. Does it actually say? 44 reference cards for your OWA team. I'm assuming we've got star player rules in there as well. 16 unique special play cards designed specifically for OWA as well. So if you like using special play cards and you're picking up OWA team, then it makes sense. And the same is true for the Underworld team. So that is what's going up on pre-order next weekend for Blood Bowl. So it's a re-release of OWA, no dice, no pitch, just the team and the special play cards for both of those teams, and Gutter Bowl. Now, it is awesome that so many of you out there guessed this would be the case. That's my favorite thing out of this entire situation. I feel like my camera's a bit laggy. Let's move. The best thing is just that you were immediately on it, which is awesome. So SPPs to everybody out there who predicted this to be the case. I know that a lot of you were just looking at the Gutter Bowl art and saying, that's an OWA team, that's an Underworld team. We haven't got those teams right now because they're out of production. They're going to bring them back. That's going to be the release. So absolute mega props to you guys. Now, I want to talk about Gutter Bowl for a couple more minutes. And the reason for that is because it did answer one of the questions that we had. The original article, I think, said that there would be 2 pitches. And we kind of did some rumination as to how big the pitches were going to be, whether that means there's actually, 2 double-sided pitches, and whether they link together. It doesn't look like any of that's going to be the case. It is, well, it's going to be a double-sided pitch. Now, I think that we now know how big this pitch is. And we did the maths on this before. So if you look at the gutter bowl pitch, and I know that I think I've already covered this before, but you can see that this pitch is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.5 squares wide, or long, which would be the width, because the end zone is in this bit here. So that's a 15 square wide pitch. And if you get a standard Blood Bowl pitch, they're triple folded. So triple folded, they've got 1, 2, double folded, I guess. There's 3 sections anyway, or 6 sections total, which means you can kind of look at the depth of it and figure out how long the pitch is going to be. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.5 squares on one side, with 6.5 squares on the other side. That takes us to 13 squares. Then you take the 6.5 and then you take this bit here and add another half, so you actually get 7 squares on the middle section, and that gives you 20 squares. I put it to you, Blood Bowlers, that this pitch, this gutter bowl pitch, is going to be 15 squares wide, 20 squares long. It is going to be a standard 4 square end zone, 4 square wide zones, but we'll have 6 square no man's land in the middle, like Blood Bowl 7s. And we think it's going to be a 7s format because, one, the unprofessionalism that they keep talking about, they're kind of setting the scene that it is non-professional teams that are going to be doing this. Mostly it's because we've seen the turn trackers, and the turn trackers have 6 squares. So I put it to you that the gutter bowl pitch, at least the sewer side, is going to have 4 wide zone, 7 center zone, 4 wide zone, and then you're going to have 6 squares in the middle because it's going to be 20 squares long. Now, a couple of you have said it could just be the graphical representation of the pitch, and you know what? Absolutely correct. We're only one square short of this just being a standard pitch, so I could be wrong. But it looks like at least the gutter bowl, at least the sewer side, is that dimensions. Now, someone did make a brilliant suggestion that because it is a double-sided pitch, and it does say here that we've got sewers on one half of the pitch and the streets on the other. Here we go. The expansion contains the Gutter Bowl rulebook, a double-sided game board with streets on one side and sewers on the other, and 2 matching dugouts. So we've got the sewers on one side and the streets on the other. And the suggestion that was made was, what if the streets have a smaller pitch, okay, to represent that it's in between buildings and kind of just, they've got that kind of compression factor of the pitch itself. And that remains to be seen, because there is no reason they can't have that on the other side. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think it's going to be the same kind of distances on both sides, with just different placement of terrain. So you've got this kind of big hole in the ground there, the sewer hole. I think what we'll see on the market side is just like market stalls and stuff getting in the way. But with the same pitch dimensions of 15 by 20, which is pretty cool because that's basically just a 7s pitch with a couple more squares width. But if you're putting terrain in there, actually you can create enough layers that actually those extra squares don't really add a lot. So that would be my guess on this one. And I think I'm comfortable enough to start 3D printing a pitch. So we've got, this will be up for pre-order on Saturday the 1st of July. Which means it will come out on Saturday the 8th of July. So I've got 2 weeks to make a sewer bowl pitch. Now, the next thing that we're going to see, I fully imagine, and the way Games Workshop tend to do this, is they'll drop this up for pre-order, and then during this week we'll have 1 or 2 articles kind of really explaining what the format is about. And I can only hope that's the case, because the more we know about this, the better. And obviously, we will jump to it as soon as we can to get some gameplay of this up on the channel, because, hey, this could be another brilliant way to play more Blood Bowl. And ultimately, more Blood Bowl is more better. Anyway, let me know what you think of these orders, these pre-orders, these previews, these new products that are coming back. I'm like you, I would love to have seen a new team, but the way Games Workshop does that, we'll see that kind of coming in summer. We'll have a preview, very much like we did Amazon's. Honestly, that gives us more time to kind of make some cool terrain and stuff like that. Dropping this with a 2-week window is very exciting. It's just exciting. Got something else to play, haven't we? Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments below, and I'm going to wrap up. So thank you very much for watching. We'll be back soon with more Blood Bowl content. Thanks very much for watching. We really appreciate your support. If you want to support the channel even further, please like and subscribe. It really does help us out. Or come join us on YouTube members or in Patreon, where you can get exclusive access to some content, some loot, early access to basically everything we do, as well as regular competitions. Or you can pick up some Bonehead Podcast loot either on our website at boneheadpodcast.com. We've got the Dungeon Bowl things, we've got tokens and stuff like that, or on our Spreadshirt site as well. Everything you do just helps us make more content and hopefully do it of better quality. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Happy blocking.